Cancel your vacation. You need to cancel your vacation this year. We're going to talk about why you need to cancel your vacation in 2022. What is Adam talking about now? He's gone off his rocker. Well, I was always been off my rocker. It's just coming out more and more as we go here. So listen, we are off our rocker so much that our VIP mastermind, we only have now, I believe, two slots left in our growth group mastermind. You will want to sign up for this. There's a 25% discount for being a podcast listener. I tell you what, you're going to ROI many, many times over. It's simply the best 2 days that you're going to have. We're going to go over our money magnet marketing system. Sorry, I can't talk. Our G6, taking you from a loan officer to a loan executive officer, and our unclosing method that is going to blow the tops off of how you sell, attract the right, partnerships, and just grow. And there's just much, much more. You're going to have access to Dallas and myself one-on-one. We are going to cater to the people there because it's a small group. And, if we need to dive into something more, we will do it there. You cannot replace 2 days like this of just working on your business and all things around it to grow. So, sign up, geniusloanofficer.com while you have a chance. Seriously, while you have a chance. It will be the best 2 days. Okay, so why do you need to cancel your vacations? Well, obviously, that's a little bit of a tongue in cheek here and some clickbait, if you want to call it here, but it's 100% what a lot of people are doing out there. They're thinking out there. The loan officers are, they're getting, I'm a bourbon person. I love bourbon, but I don't drink bourbon to get drunk because the rates or oh my gosh, the inventory is going is way down. I gotta drink this alcohol to get by the day, and oh my gosh, rates moved twice, so now I gotta go drink some more. If you're doing this, if you're hanging around people like this that are talking this way, and you're in groups that are talking this way, trust me, I know they're out there and I see them and I'm like, oh, just ignore it, keep going on, is that it is going to just absolutely kill what you can produce this year. And you're going to start retracting and saying, okay, well, now you're going to be thinking things like, oh, well, maybe I just, I cancel my vacation, or I'm going to really have just a little bitty vacation this year because I'm not going to do as well because the market's not there and all the rates are up and the inventory's low. I'm gonna pinch pennies. I'm gonna eat off the dollar menu, and I'm gonna tell my kids, turn off the lights. And they're like, what? I got to read a book. No, get a little flashlight, turn off the lights because I don't have the money, or we're going to have to conserve. Listen, it does not have to be that way at all. What I can say is that there's a couple, there's two different people out there right now that is going to struggle. And it is, number one, it is the one that is, that they're starting to retract right now. They're just retracting, going, oh my gosh, it's going to go down. The refinances is gone. The inventory is down, and I'm not going to be able to do the business. Number two is the one that's going to struggle is, hey, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I mean, it's been successful, been fine before. But the second one is guaranteed to at least reduce your income by 25%. If you are cool with that, then just keep doing that because that will reduce you at least 25%. If you did 50% refinances, it's probably going to reduce you more than 50% because it's going to be harder to get deals on purchases, and you're not going to do the refis like you were, right? So understand that both of those can be detriments. The only way you're going to be going to vacations and doing all these things is, number one, you got to be hanging around the right people. You got to be hanging around a group that's not talking about drinking during, a couple little blips on the radar of the rates going up. If you're watching the rates like at all times and you're sitting around just waiting, oh my gosh, the update's this and I'm going to do this, and oh gosh, and that is that you're like a roller coaster all day. It is killing your production. It's killing your mindset. It's killing, just your spirits. and it's gloom and doom. It's kind of like watching CNN and Fox all day and thinking you're going to be okay. The next thing you do, you're going to be curled up in a corner going, oh my gosh, like there's death, there's turmoil, there's everybody hates each other all day, and oh my gosh, like the world's just horrible, this horrible place, and nobody likes each other. You watch that stuff enough, that's what happens. It's depression TV, right? Like, and if you're doing that, let's just say stop, because it is not helping. Hey, I need to be informed. I get it. Well, it comes to rates. Yeah, I need to be informed what they are. Yeah, you can be informed. You can go in one day, one time a day, or say it's twice. You want to do an update before the end of the day. You got to lock one. Fine. You could kind of look at that, but look at it with a lens of it is what it is. This is the rates. I'm not going to let it dictate how I run my day. I'm not going to be sitting there talking about it all day and all night. Like, oh my gosh, the rates. If that's what you're talking about, then you're going to just start retracting. When you start talking about inventory is low, I've had conversations with loan officers, and please, I don't want this to come across as like anything other than I love you, I care about you, I want you to succeed, and I just hate that. There's a lot of people out there going down this rabbit hole. Is that, I've talked to different loan officers. They're like, well, the reason I'm not doing good is the inventory is low. It's low here in my area. It's low. That's whose area is not low, but inventory is low. There may be, I don't know. Maybe there's a few spots in the whole nation. Maybe that doesn't affect. I don't know, but I don't know of any. Otherwise, they're affected, right? However, okay, so I've had these calls even, and they've scheduled consultations. Is what's your point? So if we're going to talk about this, just the inventory is low, then, and that's the problem. If that's just the problem, that's an unsolvable problem. Unless you can somehow, if you think our coaching platform is one of GLO, that Dallas and I can actually make, inventory just be abundant in your area. Gosh, if we could do that, we'd be solving, even bigger problems we already are, right? But we can't do that. Neither can you, and it doesn't matter. So we can sit there and talk about it. That's why. Well, then why are we even on a call? Why are we even talking about it? Why even try to improve? Why just let everything happen? It is what it is, and the year's going to happen what it is. Let's cancel vacations. Let's cancel all our stuff. Let's eat off the dollar menu. Let's eat the ramen noodles like we're poor college student. By the way, my kids for some reason like ramen noodles, and they're like, my wife will say, hey, I'm going to cook something and good. And they're like, well, can we just have ramen noodles? I'm like, well, they're just preparing to be a poor college student. It's kind of funny. They love it for some reason. So maybe you do too. That's cool. If you want to eat that because you like it, cool. But we can do all this retraction because we're hanging around these groups that's saying it's going to go down and our inventory is bad. We got it. Inventory is down. But what if, and just think about this for yourself, like what if you had 20 more referring partners? Say there was a lot of agents and a lot of some CPAs and some financial advisors that were really good quality people that you loved and they do good business. And you added them to your mix to where they were just solid partners referring you deals. Would inventory could it be your best year ever despite inventory? And if you answered anything other than yes, and that wasn't a yes right off the bat, like I love you, but you got a lot of mindset work to do there because, well, what if? Well, I don't know. Well, this and you come on now. Don't do that to yourself. It absolutely is true, and it's true. Don't give yourself this way out. And the thing is that giving yourself a way out is going to have you canceling vacations and retracting. It's going to do that. Right now, you should be looking at, how can I grow? How can I get better? How is my marketing going to look? How is my sales going to look? How am I going to run a team? Who can I add to the mix? What, and if you're not in coaching, like, this is not just because I'm in, we run a coaching platform. If you're not in coaching, then you're missing out. Like, if it's not with us, you need to be in a coaching platform. You need to get around people that are trying to grow. They're not talking about the stupid stuff that doesn't really matter. Let's just talk about things that are retraction. Let's talk about just pinch your pennies and save your money because this is going to be an off year. Don't be around those people. Get around people that are like, hey, listen, what can we do to grow our business and have the best year ever? How do we concentrate on that? How do we add people? How do we just sell differently than we ever sold before? How do we move into the new age of marketing and the loan officer space? How do we do things that are just bold in action while others are retracting? If you do that, if you have the right skill sets, if you build the right skill sets, you have the right mindset, you have the right people in place, you have the right mentorship, you will succeed. You can have your best year ever. It is 100% within your grasp. It really is. And so I love you, and I don't want you to be on this podcast without getting fed. And I try to give you tools and things to do and strategies. This is just one that I hope you just really take with you and say, hey, I make a declaration that I'm going to do what it takes. So what do I have to do for that to happen? And understand this, it's not just like a numbers game. I don't want people to say numbers game simply because, especially, calls simply because it ends up being just about the matter of calls and not the quality of calls and not how you're going to have better conversations, et cetera. But numbers, like on a leading metrics and all that, can really just be comforting. What I'll say is that when you have in a market that's tougher compared to the market that's easier as far as pre-approvals to closes, that's only going to change, let's say 5 or 10% of the difference. So out of, let's just say out of 10 pre-approvals, maybe before you're closing, they'll close 3 of them because, for whatever reason, and now it's 2. Well, then you got 2 qualified people out of 10. You used to get 3 out of 10. Well, guess what? Now it's like, I just got to get, I get 15, I get 20, I'm going to still close more deals. And how do I do that? Well, there's not many buyers out there. You have to get more relationships. You have to be better with your relationships. You have to have, lead with more value. You have to do all these things that can get you more referrals in the door, and you could still close more deals. But if all you do is concentrate on this is a year that's going to go down, and I don't have refis, and I've never done it this way, and all this other stuff that's going through your head, then you're already losing. And before you know it, you're going to look up and go, oh my gosh, I got an empty pipeline and I can't close anything. And what am I going to do? Right now is the time to just dive in. Right now is a perfect opportunity. The thing is it's such an amazing opportunity. And you can look at it this way, because when retraction happens, loan officers are retracting. You feel that retraction, and probably right now you may be not making those calls and like you used to, because you're retracting and all the negativity and just, oh my gosh. And hey, even if I call a realtor, they're saying the same thing, and you got to ignore that, by the way. They're saying the same thing. Well, the inventory is down. Ignore it. And then now we're retracting. We're not calling those people. We're not doing the things we need to do, not setting up appointments. Guess what? You may be doing that, and others are not doing that as well. So it's a perfect opportunity. Now I'm going to dive in. I'm going to do more of that. I'm going to concentrate on what I need to do on a daily basis to grow. to nurture, to lead. And I know when I do that, I'm going to succeed. It's not going to be a matter of the market is dictating what I do. I'm going to dictate what I do based on my activities, based on my relationships, based on my salesmanship, my skill set, my mindset, everything I can do and control. I'm going to be the absolute best at that I've ever been at this year. And that's all within your grasp or reach. You have to block out this noise, but the opportunity is so many are going to shrink. So if you're not shrinking, but you're trying to dive in, you're trying to add another member that needs to, you need to add a VA to make more calls and get you more appointments. You need to add some marketing pieces. That's going to be cool. You can add some skill sets that when you go to appointments that, they're telling you why it's important to use you as a lender, which you can absolutely do. And we teach in our unclosing method all the time. You can do these things. It's just a matter of whether, you're first going to believe that you're going to step up and do those things, or again, you can just cancel these vacations. Because if right now, if that's you're thinking to retract and everything else, you might as well just go save your money and just wait it out. Wait for the next boom before you're going to do anything. Is that good enough for you? Is a 25% or 50% decrease in your business, is that okay with you? Is that sustainable for you and your lifestyle? If not, you can't do it the way you've always done it. You can't be doing it with drinking your alcoholic beverage, talking about rates with loan officers. You can't be sitting around talking about inventory. It should not, you have to stricken it from your vocabulary. And by the way, another stricken from vocabulary is words matter. Like all this stuff matters, because once you let it filter in, then it just becomes that self-fulfilling prophecy that you're not going to succeed. One thing I would encourage you to stricken, and I've heard this, and I heard this on one of our coaching calls, and I said, boo, I got to stop you right there, is, well, I'm going to see if this realtor is cheating on me. It's horrible. It's horrible. I get it. I get it. I've said it in the past, and I realized how wrong that was for so many reasons. Well, these, I did a good job and they left me. Again, this is things that we're not looking inward of, like, what else could we have done? Well, there's nothing I could have done, Adam. It doesn't even matter. Like, if you draw towards that, if they cheat on me, that's your boom, they lose somebody else, they cheat on me. You're losing a battle within. You're chipping away at your confidence. You're chipping away at, your intent. So I always call it the CIA when it comes to influence, or authority. CIA, you can write this down: control, intent, appearance. Control, intent, appearance. So it's, you can put a little circle there, and they'll, if you want to, and just kind of write that around. That's your whole circle, and in the middle is your authority, right? So that is your authority mix: control, intent, appearance. And if you are saying things like they're cheating on me, it's going to come out in your showing your intent, because you're just going to have a different pacing, a different conversation, a different read, a different vibe. They're going to read something like something is not right. You got a gut feeling about you that something is a little bit off. And so just little things like this matter, and going, hey, like, how can I serve? How can I tighten this relationship up? How can I go back to relationships that, you're saying cheating on you now, instead of going, hey, how do I talk to them in a different way? How do I, present in a different way? How do I, listen to them and what problems they are? How do I problem find and problem solve rather than product push? How do I do these things? And you're going to do those only when we take ownership of what we're doing. And so this whole lesson should be, it could be boiled down into, I'm taking ownership in my actions and the results I'm going to render because of what I do and how I see myself and how I show up and how I work on my growth mindset and how I am going to push in when a market is tightening up. So it's either that or start selling stuff off. The choice is yours. I choose to share with my GLO members the skill set, the growth mindset, the salesmanship, the money magnet marketing system we have, the deep level connectivity, the CIA for authority, the branding, the done for yous, the things that are going to get out there and open up a window of suggestibility for people to want to use you, have people attracted to you. But you're only doing that when you first take that step. I'm taking ownership of what I'm doing this year fully. I didn't previously. Up until now, I did not take ownership for my results and my actions and how I showed up. Going forward, I'm a different person. That person no longer exists. This person shows up. So just remember, we have a lot of self-defeating things going on where, well, Adam, I failed before when the markets got tough. Good, use that. Up until now, I failed when markets got tough. Up until now. There's a breaking point. Going forward, I will joyfully show up every day in a growth-minded spirit and activities that is going to help me exponentially grow in 2022 beyond my wildest dreams. It's got to be real. It's got to be right. It's not, I don't ever like to use the word, it's practical, or it's any of those other achievable type of words. Whatever is achievable is whatever you set it out to be. But we have to also first break in the action of, hey, we acknowledge we didn't do this before, but now we're making a declaration of that is a breaking point. Here is what I am doing going forward. And I'm declaring this is how I'm going to show up going forward. So I will do these actions, right? The moment you decide to be great, you're great. The moment you truly decide to be great, you are great. So you're going to decide to be great, or you're going to sit around, you're going to listen to another podcast, going to kind of listen to this, kind of go, oh, whatever. But then you listen to this podcast and then you go and you sit around loan officers that are, talking about rates all the time and talking about drinking all the time. And they're talking about the inventory's low, and you're hanging around these types of people, and you've just washed away all the good stuff that you're trying to put in. You got to block out this noise. You got to get away from these people. Like, I don't care who they are. You got to get away from them and get in the circle of people growth minded that are talking, how do we show up differently? How do we market differently? How do we sell differently? How do we think of ourselves differently? How do we attract differently? All these things, instead of we're just going to ride this sucker out and there goes my income. If you're going to do that, again, cancel your vacations, save your money, ride it out and wait for the next time. And then you can start going on vacations and start spending money, and you start, turn lights back on when, the market gets better. I don't think that sounds good to you, right? And it shouldn't. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for anybody. You've got a beautiful opportunity in a mortgage game to make it what you want to in whatever market shows up. So that's all I got. But man, I encourage you again, man, let's lift each other up. Send some encouraging messages back to me. I'll send some back to you. let's encourage each other to grow every day. Encourage your other fellow law officers trying to grow with you. Encourage, and show up and just be a light to others. Man, I mean, this is such a beautiful time to be alive. I love it. I mean, there's just so many opportunities. Why goodness, there's opportunities for you out there to grow and just take in the riches and just gosh, go on vacations, work 30 hours a week and have a thriving business. All that is for you. I promise you are good enough. You're awesome enough. You just have some steps to take, and we'll hold your hand through those steps and get you there. But gosh, man, there's just such an opportunity. Like, just show up every day and go, man, this is a great opportunity that I'm in this mortgage industry. And gosh, this should be a freeing thought of you or this person that can control your income, can control your life, can control your hours, can control how you want your business set up. You have it all within your grasp. And if you don't think you do, like, let us help you with that. I promise you really do. It's just some tweaks and some changes, and all of a sudden the light bulb goes off and you're like, oh wow, I didn't see that. It's kind of like the Bob Ross, the painter, back in the day. I don't know if you remember what I'm talking about. He had the big paint brushes and he would paint, and I feel like you can tell who an artist truly is if they're doing some artwork and you don't know what the heck they're even doing. You're like, what is that even? What is that even? That doesn't even look like anything. And all of a sudden they do one more brush stroke, and all of a sudden you're like, what? How would that all come from? And that was Bob Ross. He would like do one more little brush streak, and you're like, where in the world? How did a whole forest just show up and appear? It didn't even look like anything before that last brush stroke. Sometimes it's like the last brush stroke. It's literally you're right there. And then it's just that one more brush stroke, and you're like, whoa, that's how I do it. That's the light bulb moment. For some, it takes a few weeks to kind of get those light bulb moments going off. Some may take 3 or 4 months. It depends on who it depends, but the light bulb moment will go off if you're surrounded around the right people. You are just saying, hey, I can do this, and keep with a positive spirit. The light bulb moment will go off, and good gosh almighty, things are going to change for you, and they're going to change for you fast. That's all I got. You know the drill. Limited risk equals limited income.